Okay, so there's something, it's time I think you knew this about me. I have a strange summer ritual that started out innocently enough many years ago and is now transforming into something probably more Freudian, probably worthy of some analysis. But it really is part of my true identity, like who I really am. While I may be part Midwesterner, urban explorer, part coastal dreamer, yes, I am definitely an Appalachian wanderer. Someone who finds deep comfort in the balds, highlands, creeks, and rivers of the Blue Ridge or Smoky Mountains, where I return each and every summer. So this is a little bit of what I did with my summer vacation report. But there is one thing for certain, one thing that will always happen when I am doing this Appalachian exploring. There will be tubing. Yeah? Now by tubing, this is what I mean. What I mean is that we will wait in line as long as we must. In the summer heat, munching on snow cones and avoiding the yellow jackets, for our turn to grab an inner tube and plunk ourselves down for hours, the more the better. With our feet and hindquarters dipped in a river, the faster the better, and we will not move too much. We will hear the crickets drone in high fidelity. The sun will beat down upon our shoulders at a pitch no sunscreen could really manage. And for those precious few hours, we will be collectively moving towards a common destination while expending zero effort to arrive there. It's the best. And that's not all. I mean, this is the Freudian part. Here we go. In my tubing enthusiasm, a force of nature rivaled only by the inexorable pull of Class 3 rapids, I will convince an elder family member that this is an excellent way to spend an afternoon. I mean, I tell the truth. When they ask, how long will we be on the river, I answer, I don't know. When they ask, is it easy to get out of the tube or to get back into the tube, I will not say yes. And when they inevitably ask, well, what if I'm scared and I want to get off mid-course? I will eagerly explain my absolute favorite thing about tubing down these natural rivers. It's not an amusement park, it's nature. Once you are on it, there is no way off the river. And then, before anyone can think too hard about it, I toss my tube in the river, plunk my frame into it, yelling, let's go! And I'm gone. I've brought toddlers, dogs, full picnic lunches, first-timers, in-laws, urbanites, septuagenarians, people with panic disorders, and my own children down the river. Some of these people don't find my river antics amusing and are still shaking their fists at me probably today. I prefer to go with as few people as possible and as many rapids as we can find. Once we're off, there's just nothing I can do. There's nothing anyone can do. It's the closest to a full day's meditation I have ever experienced. I mean, this is actually no lazy river, but active, full of vigor and movement. We paddle ourselves out of the stuck places. We grab onto each other's hands and pull each other along when needed. There are even dangers lurking, as Townsend Langston really wanted you to know. This last time, my sons and I encountered copperhead snakes coming right for us. But we survived. Now, as religious liberals, as political or racial or gender minorities, we spend so much of our lives expending all of our energy and effort swimming against the current of the dominant ethos. We strain with efforts. We accept tiny crumbs of validation as though it is meal enough to sustain us until we are fully equitable or empowered. And we feel more like salmon most of the time, jumping and diving against the river's flow, always facing upstream. Anyone else catch my drift? Thanks. After maintaining this level of upstream efforts, well, this eventually becomes our stance, our muscle memory, until by the summer of 2024, we were so exhausted by the cross-current strain that we had become stagnant, resigned, just kind of circling. I mean, you remember those days? But now, what rich indulgence to join a river of hope, excitement, passion, joy for our nation's potential future. And after spending so long swimming upstream, it can be difficult to remember how to do anything else. And I wonder how many of us are still stuck in that upstream stance, looking for the very, very perfect wave, or standing as a stone in the river, unable to get caught up by the flow of something bigger than ourselves. Now, there is a season for pushing against the current, and there always will be. There will always be a time when we will need to steel ourselves for the struggle. But let us also make sure we are spiritually prepared to join the flow. And not just the flow of political good vibes either, but also the flow of the school year, the congregational year, the rituals and rhythms that keep our lives centered, that keep our spirits grounded. So this is why some hot July days you will find me deep in the crevices of the Blue Ridge, staring up at the sky, letting the current just drag me. Because it is the best way to feel myself still, to avoid the tyranny of control, to release the tight fistfuls of energy and simply flow in the direction of my own dreams. Where we are going, only the river knows. But to me, it feels like trust. It feels like faith. To let go of control. To let go of the fake fights and the real ones. The deep effort of making life work for everyone. The pressure of an epic summer. The stagnant waters of acquiescence. And instead, to join the flow, the active, inspiring, motivated flow, to hear ourselves as one of many voices, to get caught up by the enthusiasm, to surrender to hopefulness, to trust fall back into the crowd and let it uplift you too. So this is homecoming. This is the return to the flow of the year. This is what it feels like to fully join in the river's song, the long flowing journey, and just let go. Amen. Blessed be. The water celebration is a way to mark this momentous time of beginnings and endings. The water is a symbol of surpassing beauty. It symbolizes the depths of the spiritual life. When we sing, there's a river flowing in my soul. When the poet says, my soul has grown deep like the rivers. And there's ways that water symbolizes the beloved community, as drops of rain that find each other and build to become a rivulet, a stream, a river, a sea, so are we drawn together, bound together on this shared passage toward an unknown ocean and eternity. Often our water communion service and our ingathering signals a return to one another and to our faith life. So let us allow the water communion ritual to help us welcome a new season together. May the water return to us a renewal of our soul's deepest promise, a promise to offer grace to ourselves and each other, a promise to treat others with dignity in a time of indignity everywhere. Our promise to take care of one another and follow the best health guidelines to reduce risk for ourselves and others. Our promise to stay curious rather than judgmental. This is where our spirit leads us, back to each other with grace unfurling, replacing insatiable need with insatiable love, and making a way for love to flow within, among, and beyond us once again. And so as you are all invited to recommit to your faith life, to a spiritual community, and to hold Sunday mornings as sacred and precious to your life, to the flow of your days and weeks, I also want to invite the Board of Trustees of 2024-25 to come forward and join us as we gather the waters together. Waters that you have collected from different places you have gone. Some have gone to Peru. I'm hoping there's water from Peru up here. All the different places you've traveled or from your own homes to bring them together in a common bowl. Our water is sacred. It is made sacred by the many hands that have poured it with intention and love, the many stories each drop contains, the many lives surrounding it in this unique moment, connected by commitment and faith. This is a litany. I'll invite you to say with me, the water is sacred. The water is sacred. All right, Terry Carpenter, trustee.
This water is sacred. May it continue to flow through the community with shining reflections in the unique gifts that flow through each of its members.
The water is sacred. Laura Rose.
May it continue to nurture this community with sustaining hope, that we journey together through ripples of growth and change.
So as she pours it, okay, you're good at litanies. As she pours it in, we'll say, the water is sacred. Letta Wu.
May its purity offer grace to our community. And the willingness to forgive ourselves and one another when we make mistakes.
The water is sacred. LaTanya Beverly Simmons.
In moments when we are confused or uncertain, may it bring us clarity of purpose and commitment.
The water is sacred. Barbara Begner.
The water wears away a path leading to the unknown.
The water is sacred. Derek Baumbach.
May the water remind us we travel hand in hand, never alone.
The water is sacred. Carl Polita.
Let there be a river flowing in the soul.
The water is sacred. Beth Carpenter Martinez.
May our souls grow deep like the rivers.
The water is
sacred. May our souls grow deep like the rivers. The
The water is sacred.
Amen.